Summer vacations are a unique experience. School is out, and you get plenty of time to enjoy yourself. This story is about one such summer vacation. It was 1998. 16-year-old Nisha and her 13-year-old younger brother, Aman, were very excited for that year's summer vacation. They were going to visit their grandparents after nearly 10 years. Their grandparents lived in a small village near the Shimla Hill station. It was an old farmhouse with a field where the power went out at any time. But Aman and Nisha were very excited. This was the first time they were traveling without their parents. After a long journey, their train stopped in Shimla. Only the two of them got off at the station. As soon as they got off, they saw their grandparents, picked up their bags, and ran towards them. They looked exactly like the ones in their memories. They were a little weak now. The sun was shining brightly and it was quite hot. But despite that, their grandparents were wearing shawls. There was a strange emptiness in their eyes. There were smiles on their faces, but they were very fake. But Aman and Nisha didn't notice these things. They were very happy to meet their grandparents. During the entire car ride, they kept telling stories about their train journey. Their grandparents didn't say much. They just nodded and kept glancing at them through the rear-view mirror. After driving for about an hour from Shimla, they reached home. Their grandparents had a large farmhouse, but it was quite old. Yellow walls and weeds all around. It seemed as if no one maintained it. There was no other house nearby. It was night, so nothing was visible around them. Outside the house, in the veranda, there was an old rocking chair that swayed slightly, even without a breeze. Ammon joked that horror movies are shot in such places, and the siblings burst out laughing. Everything inside the house was old. Black and white photos, wooden furniture, and a strange smell, as if something was rotting. When they both made faces, Nani smiled and said, "It smells of cow dung. It's coming from the fields." With that, Nani went into the kitchen, and Nyana showed them their room and asked them to come in for dinner. Their room was quite large, but from the window, all that was visible was darkness and tall grass. After a while, Nani called for dinner. Everyone sat down for dinner. Nana and Nani sat with them at the dining table, but they didn't eat anything. They kept repeating how happy they were that the children had come. This seemed strange to both of them at first, but they were meeting their grandparents after 10 years. Perhaps their grandparents missed them terribly. After dinner, Nisha and Aman went to their room. A little while later, their grandfather came in. After saying goodnight, he turned off the lights, and before leaving said, "Many animal sounds are heard here at night. Don't be afraid, and don't leave the room at all." With that, their grandfather left their room. The tired children didn't even realize when they fell asleep. Every now and then, some new software is introduced. It seems promising, but then you have to wait for access, and in the end, you get nothing. But Vikran's tool is different. No waiting, no code. It starts working as soon as you open it. They used it for a while and started changing balance receipts. Let's see how it works. Assistance prediction on the left, platform entry on the right. You set an automatic exit before the drop, and boom, everything matches perfectly. Let's try one more time. Assistant gave the fall point as 429, followed and waited. Here's another perfect result. Many people are sharing their results these days. Finally, a tool that really works, without asking for anything. If you want to see it too, follow the link below. Join Vikrant's channel and try the assistant yourself. Instant access, no delay. Try it while it's still available. The next 2 days passed quite normally. Every day, grandparents came to wake them both up. Nisha spent most of her time sitting by a window, sketching. From that window, all she could see were trees, all exactly the same. Aman would wander around the house or sit on an old swing. In the back corner, listening to music on his Walkman, his grandparents would leave every afternoon, saying they were going to work in the fields and would return at night. There was a landline phone, but it was out of order, so the children couldn't talk to their parents. There were also some small things that were a bit strange. For example, his grandparents never ate with him. They would always make some excuse and just sit at the dining table. Once, Aman noticed the refrigerator in the kitchen was open, and inside was a pot of a thick red liquid. When he asked, his grandmother simply said it was an old family recipe and burst out laughing. Often, Nani would start laughing loudly for no reason, and Nanaji would sit in one place for hours, staring at something in front of him. Both the brother and sister thought that all this was a sign of old age. That night, Nisha woke up to some sound. The sound came from outside the door. Then a big shadow passed under the door, just for a second. Forgetting Nanaji's warning, Nisha tiptoed to the door and slowly opened it. That strange smell had become stronger now. It was dark outside, but there was a hint of someone entering. There was a sound. It didn't seem like an animal. It was something else. Before Nisha could go near it and understand what was happening, someone suddenly placed a hand on her shoulder, making her scream. Behind her was her grandmother. She still had that strange, fake smile on her face, and her face had turned strangely pale. She told Nisha to go to sleep. Frightened, Nisha quietly returned to her room, but she couldn't sleep out of fear. Nisha was now starting to feel a sense of dread around that place. The next morning, her grandparents came to her room. Both of them looked completely normal. As usual, they said breakfast was in the kitchen and they were going to work in the fields. Nisha breathed a sigh of relief as she heard the main door close. That afternoon, Aman was sitting outside on the swing doing his holiday homework when she heard the sound of children playing inside the house. He peeked out the back window and saw a shadow that appeared to be that of a small boy. Aman thought guests had arrived, but when he went inside, there was no one there except Nisha. He searched the entire house for the boy. Then his attention fell on a black and white photo in the drawing room. In the middle was a large photo of his grandparents, and blood was flowing from their eyes. Seeing this, Aman was terrified. He immediately called Nisha and showed her the photo. But then the photo was completely normal. Nisha also told Aman about what had happened to her the previous night. Both children's hands and feet had gone cold. What was going on in that house? There were 3 rooms in total. His grandparents' room was on the first floor, and it was always closed. It seemed as if the foul smell was coming from their room. Somehow, they found the key from the bunch of keys and opened the room. As soon as they opened the door, they got a very foul smell. Inside, there were 2 rotting bodies lying on the bed. Both of them went a little closer, covering their faces, and Nisha saw that one of the bodies had the same locket around its neck which her grandmother used to wear. The ground slipped from under Nisha's feet. She understood that these bodies were of her grandparents. But if these bodies were of her grandparents, then who were the people with whom they were living? Friends, this was part 1 of this story.